Breaking news, Nebraska has hired Troy Dannen to be the next athletic director 5 days after Trev Alberts left for Texas A&M. I mean, oh my goodness, this moved very quickly. I thought they were going to wait perhaps a couple weeks, maybe even a month before they decided to hire a new guy. But 5 days after, we have our man Troy Dannen. So in this video, I'm going to go over my instant analysis. We'll give a grade on this hire, whether or not this is good or bad for the Cornhuskers and everything else in between. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss out on the best Nebraska football content on this app. But let's just get into it real quick. Talking about Troy Dannen, he's the former athletic director at Tulane. He was there for about 8 years, and then he was at Washington for the last 9 months before he left in the middle of the night to go to Nebraska. So talking about his Tulane career, very, very good. He was there from 2015 to 2023, and he really rebuilt Tulane athletics. He hired Willie Fritz, one of the best coaches in the country, period, to really rebuild that Tulane football program to the point where they were in talks of joining Power 5. That's how good Tulane has been. They're really on the rise when it comes to basketball, when it comes to baseball. So he did a really good job at Tulane, built them to be one of the more respectable programs in the country. He left Tulane to go be the next AD at Washington about 9 months ago. And his tenure at Washington, to say the least, was not great. Yes, the football program made the college football national championship, but he lost his man in Kalen DeBoer. The basketball program fired its head coach and had a pretty terrible season. But I will say this, he was only there for 9 months. We are not going to sit here and debate whether or not he did a good job because he didn't have enough time. And he did make a good hire. When he lost Kalen DeBoer, he hired Jed Fish, who very, very good head coach from Arizona. So he has the ability, as we've seen, to get those top-tier coaches from the coaching market. So, again, I'm not really going to judge him based on his Washington career. Let's look at his Tulane career, and when we look at that, he did a great job over there in Louisiana. So what does this mean for Nebraska? I told you guys in an earlier video that I expected us to get an outsider. A lot of people wanted John Cook. A lot of people wanted a guy that Matt Rule had connections to. And I said, nope, that's not going to happen. If you looked at what Nebraska's done in the past, what they're going to do forward, they're going to get somebody who's an outsider, especially coming after a guy by the name of Trev Alberts, who was, by all intents and purposes, a Nebraska guy, and he left us. So, yeah, we were absolutely going to get an outsider. I don't think that's a bad move to get an outsider. You get a guy who has a bunch of experience, who's been an athletic director for more than 10 years and has done a good job. It does worry me that he was at Washington for only 9 months. The fact that he basically switched on him super quick. I know Nebraska fans, we've had that happen to us a couple of times, so we're not super big fans of those kind of people. The fact that he basically left and jumped ship that early. So that is a little bit of a concern, but the fact that we got an outsider, the fact that we got a guy who again knows how to make really good hires and has worked at all levels of college football all around the country, I think that's really important to have those connections. You're not only from one place, again, he's from Louisiana, from Washington. He knows how to do things at a multitude of levels. A guy who's been back and forth throughout college football, college athletics. So that excites me. It's just the fact that he's an outsider, it posed a couple risks. The fact that he doesn't know much about Nebraska, Nebraska morals, Nebraska connections, that is worrisome. That's what you need to have as the Nebraska athletic director. Again, we've seen guys like Sean Eichhorst, Bill Moose really struggle to build strong connections in Nebraska because of the fact that they're not from here. So I can see that happening here with Troy Dannen. But really, at the end of the day, I don't think an athletic director means as much as we really think it does. The only thing I want from an athletic director is stability, a guy who's there year after year. The only thing that matters when it comes to an athletic director, from my eyes, is the ability to make good hires and retain coaches. And that's something that we've seen with Troy Dannen, and that's why I'm a fan of this hire. As for a grade, I'll give this a B+. It doesn't blow me out of the water, right? It's not an A+ home run hire, but at the end of the day, he's a guy who has got it done at a multitude of levels, and he's proven why he's one of the better ADs in the country. So I'm happy that we hired him. I'm happy that we got this process done and over with. I was not going to want to sit here for a couple months and debate longer about who our next AD should be. I'm glad that the Board of Regents and our interim president made a good decision already, and we're done and over with this process. So let me know what you think about this guy down below, Troy Dannen, next AD of Nebraska, 6-year deal. He's here for the long haul, guys. At least let's hope so. So I'll see you in the next one, everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any more Nebraska football or Nebraska ball content. See you in the next one, guys.